Hey guys, it's Stampedo P here, and welcome back to another video. After 6 years, oh my god, I'm finally back on my channel. I finally made the decision to come back, and I'm going to be mostly doing Marvel and DC content, reviews on TV shows and movies, and my thoughts on other Marvel and DC upcoming projects. So, without further ado, so yeah, expect a lot more Marvel and DC content coming up. So, without further ado, let's get into the review. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 review. Oh my god. By the way, spoiler warning. If you have not watched the season, go ahead and go and first watch the season, then come back because there's going to be so many spoilers in this video. So, anyways, first of all, I just want to say this was an absolute fucking amazing season. The storytelling, the writing, the dialogues, the fighting, the bone crunching violence, the gore, the redemption character arcs. Like we're gonna be talking about all that stuff in this video, all that shit. So let's start. So obviously, the season starts off as Matt is on the Northern Star, a ship that Fisk is using to smuggle in illegal weapons, and Matt boards the ship, beats the absolute living shit out of the guards on the ship. And honestly, bro, it was actually like so fucking satisfying to see that fight scene. I mean, just start the season off with a bang. Start the season off with a big ass punch, and a kick, and an elbow, and a knee. So honestly, it was actually so amazing. And the crew members they sank the ship, obviously, to destroy the evidence. Matt ends up on the shore. And then after that, we see Fisk's fascist New York. How he's controlling everything and he's using all the institutions on his side, like the district attorney's office, the police, the anti-vigilante task force, which he created. And it really makes you feel like so beaten. It makes you feel so beaten. Like, how is Matt, Karen, and a bunch of and their friends going to take New York back, from this oppressive ruler. And obviously, Kirsten McDuffie is was such a badass lawyer, and she's just trying to fight for the innocent people that are being detained and thrown into that unknown detention center that Fisk created. And she represents Karen Page too, and it's actually such an unfair fighting ground for her. I mean, the judges are on Fisk's side, and you know, um, they keep listening to District Attorney Hochberg, and like they're not letting, like, she would win all. Like the writers, they literally tell us, like, she could win all her cases. It's just that she has the evidence. She's way better of a lawyer. She has the skills, the legal skills, everything. It's just no one's on her side. So even though, like, she can win, it's just not fair. There's no way for her to win. And then also you have Bibi Yurik. She's working with Karen Page and exposing Fisk's illegal things that he's doing. And I like the video, the YouTube channel that she created of her pretending to be Mayor Fisk, and Fisk is so mad in his office, like, find the leak, whoever this is. He's telling Daniel and Buck, like, find the leak, whoever this is, and we will bring that person in. And then she's just pretending to be a Mayor Fisk, like, ha ha ha. I love look at New York. I'm such an amazing mayor, and I'm such a nice and peaceful person, who's protecting all the citizens. But if you cross me, I will throw you in an unknown detention center and you will never see your family ever again. Like, that was actually so funny, and I love her, like, little YouTube channel. And it's really pissing Fisk off. So that's one of the funny things about this season. And it also, like, it shows you how, like, like, around the world this is actually a real thing, like, in a lot of oppressive countries, people have made YouTube channels, and they're exposing the government's oppression and illegal things that the government's doing. So yeah, it really makes you, like, feel that. And obviously, like, the anti-vigilante task force, right? Like, it's what's happening in America right now. I don't mean to make this video too political, but the ICE and everything. So it's really, like, it really relates to a lot of real life situations. Anyways, Daredevil eventually finds the detention center, of actually, no, first, at the end of the episode, Daredevil Matt, he what do you call it? He goes to Cherry's house because the anti-vigilante task force comes there, you know, and he, like, it just really reminds you of that fight scene from when he fought that one, like, Officer Powell, the other cop in that apartment. And he beats the shit out of both of them. So he's beating the shit out of them, but then he hears Cherry's heartbeat slowly stopping. Cherry has a heart attack, and then it reminds him of Foggy's heart attack. I mean, Foggy's heart, and the Foggy's heart stopping. And then after that, then the AVTF get one up on him, and then they unmask him, and then you're like, no, what the fuck? And then Bullseye kills all of them, and then you're like, yes, what the fuck, and then holy fuck, and it was just like, Bullseye saved him, snipes all of them, kills them, throws a knife, tells Daredevil you're welcome. Amazing ending to the first episode. I mean, the season just started off so amazing. And then finally, Daredevil finds out where the detention center is with the help of what do you call it? Kirsten, and obviously we get to see swordsman in action, beating the shit out of all the the anti-vigilante task force, and it was actually such a satisfying thing to see. And I really like how they added Matthew Lillard, who plays Mr. Charles. Obviously he's famously known for playing Shaggy in this in Scooby Doo, the Scooby Doo movie and the Scooby Doo animated series. He's the voice for Shaggy, and I really like his character. He's charismatic, funny. He acts like he doesn't give a shit about anything, eating snacks all the time, like an immature kid, right in front of Fisk too. And he has like absolutely no like fear whatsoever about being crushed by Fisk. And by like no fear of being crushed by Fisk with his bare hands. Like, I mean, I'm just like, bro, So I really like how they added his and he's a CIA operative, and I just like the character, like how they added him in. So it was a breath of fresh air. Like a little comedy in the show. I like how Fisk was trying to find Matt. Through this is actually pretty smart. Like they're the same person. So Daredevil's wanted for being a vigilante and supposedly a terrorist, and then Matt is wanted. Matt is missing, so please find him because he saved my life. I mean, that was just very smart of Fisk to do that. And then come on, now we got to talk about the one that everyone's talking about, Bullseye. I mean, Bullseye's redemption arc. Oh my goodness! Like, finally we get to see Bullseye. Like he's fully unleashed. Like the Netflix series, he was used by Fisk, and then season one he was used by Vanessa. Then he at the end of the show he escapes prison, but now he's like fully living his life, drinking milkshakes, and prank calling the AVTF, and then just fucking shooting toothpicks in their eyes, slicing them up in a fucking diner, you know, and then telling the customers that he's the good guy. I mean, that was so amazing. And that diner scene was absolutely amazing. Wilson Bethel was born to play Bullseye, so I mean, it was just such an amazing scene, and then him and Matt fighting in his apartment, and then he talks about one good deed. And then when he goes to kill Vanessa, I really like how when he went to go kill Vanessa, Fisk was so like scared. He was just like he's like like Fisk is like more scared of Bullseye than he is of Daredevil. Like I mean, like he's just like he knows like Daredevil is a good guy. Daredevil's gonna try to bring him to justice. Bullseye does not give a shit. He doesn't give a fuck. He will try to kill you. And then when Bullseye went, and he's like, get her. He's telling the AVTF to get Vanessa out of there. He's like, get her out of here, get her out of here, because he knows like this guy Bullseye. He's so dangerous. He can kill you with a fucking pencil, and he's just like killing the AVTF soldier officers, and then the shard of glass goes in Vanessa's head, and then she dies. I mean, that was so satisfying. But at the same time, Vanessa was the only person holding Fist back, from going fully all out, evil. I mean, it's not like she cared. I mean, she was just as bad as him. But the thing is that Fisk loves her, and when he has her in his life, he's a lot more calm, right? And yeah, and then in the next episode, obviously, we have it was a flashback episode, and I really like how they did the flashback episode. I mean, from the Netflix series, when they would do flashbacks, I mean, it would be like a yellowish, like orange color, and they did such an amazing job with like Foggy and Matt, and it showed how like just how when Matt told Frank in the first season, Foggy was Foggy is one of the he's the kindest, pure soul I ever met, and guys like you and me can never live up to that, and can never be like him, and it really shows because Foggy, even some guy who bullied him his whole childhood, it shows like how kind he was to still help that guy and run away from being assassinated by Buck, and then Daredevil, he's trying to do the same thing by he feels bad for trying to kill Bullseye, so then he saves Bullseye at the end of the season, at the end of the episode, actually, and that was actually pretty cool, to see that as well. And I like how Bullseye, he was like He goes like, vigilantes, assassins, nurses, doctors, lawyers, judges. And he's just like he's just like talking, in church, and that was like it was kind of funny, like the way he was talking, and he didn't give a shit about what Matt was saying, So it was pretty like it showed more of his character and his psychology because we always just see him like throwing shit at people and killing people, but it was nice to see like his opinions and stuff like that and how he sees the world. And then obviously we have the iconic Daredevil and you know, thing Fisk fight scene in the next episode, and after Fisk is still saying like, "What are you gonna do? Arrest me? Uh, you cannot. What are you gonna do? Kill me? You will not." It was like he knows like Matt is not gonna kill him, and he can't arrest him, but he's not gonna kill him either. And honestly, that knee to the face, fuck yeah. I mean, Fisk deserved that. That was actually so amazing. And I liked how he did. You know how like you see for the first time, usually Fisk he always has something to say, but this time he was quiet for the whole episode, and then he just lashes out at the end. Because that's how much Vanessa's death affected him. And Daredevil Born Again is not just a revival of Daredevil, but a revival of all the Netflix shows. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Punisher. Everybody. Jessica Jones returns. She has a daughter now, Daniela Cage, and because of her giving birth to her, sometimes she loses her powers, just like you saw when she punched Powell that one time, and then she hurt her hand. Brett Mahoney returns. Oh my God, like that guy's such a legend. You know, and honestly, it was really sad to see Daniel die. I mean, don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. I feel bad for. Don't get me wrong. I feel bad for Daniel dying, but it is kind of his fault. Like, I mean, he should have not worked for Fisk. You know, he should have not worked for Fitz. And also at the same time, like, come on, man. Buck is gonna be there. You could just run away. Like, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why you're just going there to get slaughtered. But I mean, yeah, it was really sad. I mean, the way Buck was being the shit out of him. And then honestly, like they never intended for Daniel to die. It was like Buck was gonna just say run away, but then at the end they just like added in some CGI and they killed him. And I think and then even like the actors are like they were so surprised. And I think the showrunners they just didn't want to do another story of Daniel's redemption arc and he's just like living on the sidelines, because I think that would just be too much work and they wanted to put more energy into other characters. So I do understand that. But it was really sad to see Daniel die. I mean, bro, man, I mean, damn, bro. Yeah, just the way he got shot, and shit, it's like the way Buck was beating the shit out of him. Oh, it was very sad. And then Karen's trial starts. And honestly, man, like Karen, what do you call it? I like how Matt was defending her and he came in, and we finally get to see Matt being a lawyer again, and it was actually so amazing. And then when he was like, pro- um, cross-examining, no, examining Wilson Fisk, and then he got under his skin. And then after he reveals that he's Daredevil, he goes like, he's like, Fisk goes like, you're a fool. And he goes like, no, I'm not. I am Daredevil. It really reminds you of when Iron Man said in Endgame, I am Iron Man, and then he snaps his fingers. That was amazing. And then obviously then he throws his cane and catches it, and just to prove that he's Daredevil. And even Officer Powell is what do you call it? Impressed as well. He goes like a blind lawyer who can fight. That was pretty cool, not gonna lie. And then we had the courtroom fight, and then Fisk goes like boo, and he goes and he's like beating the shit out of everybody in the court, and it was actually fucking crazy. And honestly, yeah, bro, that was crazy, like punching thing one-shotting people and fucking killing them. It looked like he was killing them. It broke that one guy's spine. It was fucking crazy, man. And then you even had Angela Del Toro, she became the new White Tiger. Jessica Jones was there, Karen Page, everybody was fighting. And he told Fisk it was done. So that was actually such an amazing ending to the season. And I like how at the end they show us Heather Glenn becoming Lady Muse, because we're gonna see her in the next season. She's gonna become the new Muse. Luke Cage returns as well, finally, just like I said, it's a revival of all Netflix shows. And on top of that, Matt sadly goes to prison, but he has a smirk on his face when he goes to prison. So I cannot wait for Daredevil Born Again season 3. Cannot wait for Matt Matt's some fighting for Matt in prison. Um, Matt prison fights, and obviously you see like uh Officer Cole North in prison as well, and the guy who killed Hector Ayala and other people, and I think Powell's in prison as well, and all the other corrupt cops, that were AVTF officers. So yeah, I cannot wait for Born Again season 3. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be making more videos. And yeah, I would rate this season out of 10. I'll rate it a 9 out of 10. Like 9 out of 10. It was 9 out of 10 seasons. Absolutely amazing season, and I cannot wait for Daredevil Born Again season 3. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys in the next video.